Yeah, so I think we've gone from a 20-foot container a year to we're anywhere from probably 2 to 6 containers a month.
Clay, buddy, how you doing?
I'm good. Self?
It's fucking hot out there.
It is a little bit.
I'll start with that because it's ridiculous.
Better have a sip of beer then.
Yeah, well, cheers for coming down. Oh,
Cheers.
oh,
Pretty good gear.
it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah, so what's happening?
Mate, well, we are flat out like a lizard drinking, but you guys are times 10. You're going off like a frog in a sock.
Mate, it's been a wild ride, that's for sure. It's I guess you just keep pushing, and the harder you work, the luckier you get, and that's sort of what we're experiencing at this current time. So it's you got to get yourself a good product, you get yourself a good team, you get yourself good dealers, and surround yourself with good people, mate. It's pretty surprising where you can end up.
Absolutely. I mean, like, look, okay, for anybody that's not aware of who you are and what that logo means, Method Race Wheels, you're the head honcho, the big dog for Australia.
That's yep. So my family, we're Method Race Wheels Australia, and I'm lucky enough to be put in charge of running it. So it's it's been a good time.
So for anybody that's not sort of up to speed with Method, what's the give us a bit of history on like where it's come from, where you guys got involved and all that and everything today. That's like a really long answer, but go for it.
All right.
Take a big breath.
Lucky we got some time.
That's
Strap
right.
in, guys.
Take a big breath.
Yeah. Look, so Method Race Wheels began in the US in 2010, I believe. So essentially, my dad and my brother, Michael, they went to the US to race the Mint 400. So we had a buggy built back then in the US, and they were going over to test it.
Yeah.
And as the story goes, well, it's not a story, it's the truth, but as it goes, the buggy wasn't ready.
Right.
So we ended up buying. So we said to this guy, we're like, mate, what's the go? Like, you know, our car's not ready. Have you got one that we can? So prior to this, we were in solar power.
Right. Okay.
We still are.
Yeah.
So we still got the solar power company, Uni Industries, as a plug. So, you know, it was in the heyday of solar power, and it was pumping.
Yeah.
And so we're in the US, no car to race, whole team there, film crew, the whole deal.
Fuck, what a pain in the ass.
No car to race. So we're like, righto, mate, come on. What are we going to do? We need a car. And he goes, there's a guy by the name of Harley Letner. We'll go and see him. So we went and saw Harley Letner. And so it was, he's a gun over there. Like he's super cool dude. You know, we've been good mates since. And they're like, righto, we'll go and see Grandpa. So Grandpa Letner, Leadfoot Letner, that's his name. So he went and saw Grandpa, and we're like, mate, we need a car. And he goes, yeah, we got Tatum one there. You want to use it? You know, you can use it.
Yeah.
He goes, so we're like, all right, we'll buy it off you. So anyway, he let us race it. We didn't pay the money until we got back to Australia because, you know, the amount of crap that had to go down just to make that transfer and whatnot. And he's like, nah, that's fine. You race it and just fix it up when you get back to Australia. I'm like, man, how good are you, Grandpa?
Yeah,
you know?
right.
But, so we're talking about a guy that he was mates with Hugh Hefner. Yeah.
Oh god.
So
campfire stories over there.
Oh
shit.
yeah. That's as far as I'll go there. But so anyway, we ended up racing that car over there and brought it back to Australia eventually, and it was so anyway, we got a bit off track. So Harley Letner at the time was sponsored by Method Race Wheels.
Right.
And we're sort of like Michael's a wheeler and dealer, and he said, so what's the go here? And so anyway, 2012 we bought our first pallet of wheels into the country, and we're like, because like we use these wheels on our race cars, and you know no one over here was doing them, and so I thought, we'll bring a pallet over, and like we had a warehouse full of solar panels and stuff at the time, so
and a pallet of wheels in the corner.
And a pallet of wheels in the corner. and they sold pretty quick. I'm like, oh shit, we better get another pallet. So we got another pallet, and then we ended up getting a 20-foot container, and we went from a 20-foot container a year, and then we went to sort of got to about 2017, and we thought, better start giving this the attention it deserves. And that's when I sort of jumped over from fitting solar panels. I was on a roof all day, every day, or in a roof, and got to a point where I thought, I can't do this for the rest of my life. So I ended up taking over the method race wheel side of things. And so I think we've gone from a 20-foot container a year to we're anywhere from probably 2 to 6 containers a month, 40 foot.
Holy shit!
So that's where we are currently.
Wow. Because I did I mean, I've always loved the wheels, but I did a bit more digging, and the wheel itself was not like, I'm not going to try and say it exactly how it's written, but pardon me, it was built for off-road.
Yep. And
then transferred into usable on the street instead of like the show pony shit that's on the street and
correct
going off-road to get a bit of attention.
If you look at the OG method race wheels, right, they designed those wheels, the street wheels, to look like a trophy truck wheel, even down to the center cap. So you look at that center cap there, that looks exactly like the hub of a trophy truck.
What are they? What's the original ones called?
The 301s was probably
see if you can bring up the Method 301s. I want to see what that looks like, because I mean, like that wheel, I fucking love that wheel.
Yeah,
that's and the ones that we're looking at for that Suzuki build. Maddie sent through some photos of that, and I was like, that's hot.
Yeah, but I mean, aside from the look, right? So, that wheel was designed for trophy trucks, class 1 buggies, the whole deal. So those things are getting pounded day in, day out. So they took that. They took that technology and put it into the street wheel. Yeah. So I mean, if you load rated wheels is a big thing right now, right? So if you look at a method race wheel and they're load rated to 1654 kilos or 1651, whatever it is over here.
Yeah.
So that's the industry standard for load testing is a 32-inch tire.
Okay.
So if you look at any wheel that's been load tested and they're load rated to 1654 kilos, generally it's probably on a 32-inch tire. But no one's running a 32-inch tire on these wheels.
No.
So Method have gone, okay, well, we load, like trophy trucks run a 37-inch tire. Well, they did it at that time. They're running 40s now.
God, are they really?
Yeah. But everything's load rated, tested on a 37-inch tire. So that's just what they do. It's a method race wheel. Generally, back in the day they were racing on a 37-inch tire. That's what they get tested on.
Good grief.
They go through twice the
is that it down there, that the standard matte black 301?
301, yeah.
That's based on the original race wheel.
Yeah, so if you look at so it's a 301. If you look at the MR101, it's a very similar wheel.
All right, go back. Where's that?
It'll be in race wheels. So if you go up, I think wheels, beadlock. So I mean, we're into the 103 now. So if you go up, so there's probably not much in the 101 because that was.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, there it is, 101 buggy beadlock. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it all looks pretty similar. The 304, the 101. It's so that's where it all started.
I love the fact that you've taken something that's like was function over form, but you made it fucking sexy too. So it's like, you've got the best of both. I just love that it's come from that sort of heritage.
Yeah.
And now, so you brought the first container over in 2012?
2012.
Yeah.
Yep.
What are we now? 24. 12 years in.
12 years in. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's
sounds like it's been a pretty fun ride though.
Oh mate, it's anything that you do that becomes successful is fun.
Yeah.
You know, you could shovel shit for a living, but if you made it successful and you made it cool and people look at it and go, "Fuck, I wish I was that guy."
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter what you do. You know,
This is true.
Business is business. You could be selling wheels, you could be selling wheel nuts, you could be selling couches. You know, it's all the same principles. It's it's a fun ride. You know, if I was selling couches, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. So not quite as good.
I don't know that we'd have kind of the audience for couch sales unless it was like, you know, recliners and they had, you know, sort of self-service options and stuff like that. But that wouldn't be this kind of show.
We'll leave that to someone else.
We will.
Someone that's better equipped for it.
So you were saying before with the like, you know, your son's coming up, you know, all the go-kart and all that sort of stuff, and I think the story you were sharing about, you know, getting them, because obviously they race and there's the go-karts and everything, which is the starting ground for a lot of other things.
Yep.
But you know, going through in the business stuff, it's not just handing stuff out. Like you're making them work for it, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
But if you share what that story, because I think it's I think there's a lot of cotton wool in and around kids today, and you know, some of the stuff you were saying with the collar and that, I won't spoil it because I thought it was awesome. I just think there needs to be more of that, because there's, you know, we're getting these kids from what you've been saying, like they're going to hit the real world and be able to handle it, but some of these other kids they're just not gonna.
Yeah, look, I mean, I got brought up having to work for everything. You know, like my mum and dad, I saw my dad work for everything. He was, you know, he was a real man. You know, like he worked 2 jobs. He came home, he built our house. You know, he would come home and build our house that we grew up in. And to see stuff like that, I look at it and I'm like, man, I just could not do that. You know, I feel like I'm a sook.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I look at him and I think, man, I'm not half the man you were, you know? And, but I still had to work. You know, he didn't give us anything. He gave us a lot.
Yeah.
But, you know, he didn't just hand it to us in a silver platter.
No.
And that's the way that I've sort of, you know, I guess brought my kids up, that, you know, they know that they're never going to do without, but they're not going to get everything for, you know, it's not going to come easily. So we used to go, you know, my son, he raced go-karts, he's into cars now. But, you know, we'd go to the Australian Kart Championships, and if he wanted new tyres for practice, you know, like at the time we were doing method wheels, but we still got the solar power company. So we had bags and bags of cable ties. Said, all right, mate, here's 1,000 cable ties or 2,000 cable ties. Said, split them up into packs of 100, walk around the pits and go and sell them.
I fucking love that. I love that.
Yep. So he'd walk around the pits and, you know, sell his cable ties, and he'd come back to me and he goes, oh yeah, Dad, I got enough of my tyres now. So he'd go up to the tyre truck and pay cash for his tyres, and then we'd throw them on for practice. And funny story, we were down in Melbourne for one of the races, and same deal, you know, go and see your cable tyres, and he walks up to this guy and he goes, oh, do you want to buy some cable tyres? And he looks at him and goes, yeah, mate, give me $100 worth. And he goes, oh yeah, I'll use that for my V8 supercar team. It was Rod Nash.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's cool.
Yeah, so as it turns out now, Link races against his son quite a bit, and he'll be racing him in the Toyota 86 series this year.
Yeah.
But I haven't actually told Rod that story yet, but yeah, I'm sure he'll remember it. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So
that's cool.
But you know, nothing comes easy. You got to work for it, and you know, the more you work for it, the more you appreciate it.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
Yep.
I think there's definitely something to that earned, you know, feeling when you get that paycheck.
Yep.
And there's definitely not enough of that around anymore. Because my old man, he was a dairy farmer, or dairy farmer's son, from Lismore. So you know, he was brought up proper hard. Yeah. And then that transitioned a little bit into me with a little bit more softness. Yep. Not a lot, but a little bit. But then I found that it's hard. Even I can sit here and go like, I've got all these opinions about, you know, getting the kids to a little bit thicker skin and this and that, and it's like, but you know, when it comes to your own, it is hard, and you don't want them to not have everything. But you know, God, some of the shit that you see these days with these kids out causing a ruckus and stuff like that, and you think, fuck,
Yeah.
God, if that had happened when we were growing up, we would have got flogged.
Yep.
And the coppers would have turned around and gone, well, I didn't see anything, you know, because your old man whooped the shit out of you because you deserved it.
Yeah, that's right.
But anyway.
Yeah, look, I think...
I think what you're doing is awesome. I mean, he's older now, but I think what you did is awesome.
He's still only 15.
Well, that just means they're getting big enough to have an argument.
Yeah. He's almost taller than me, but I keep telling him, mate, you'll never be that big, man. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, but you know, I got 2 daughters as well, and they're you know, they're... I'm not going to say they were easier to bring up, but
Are they younger or older? Or?
They're older. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so I got 21-year-old and a 19-year-old.
Yeah, I was expecting you to say they were younger when you said that, because I was like, yeah, wait till they get older.
No,
no, they're older. You already got through it.
We've been through it. Yeah.
Shit, and yeah, right.
You just got to keep them busy, mate. That's the...
Well, that's
the
you know,
key.
you're in the right. I think, you know, there's that part of it for what I do as well. It's that old line, you know, if you give them a 4-wheel drive addiction, they don't have time for anything else.
Well, I failed in that because they dance. So
my little girl dances too, so she's getting in all that. But whatever it is, if they've got that thing that they just sink their teeth into and they love, like you said, keeping them busy.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. Look, I remember as a kid, you know, like I loved to fish. I loved to go racing. I loved to go camping, and I loved to play baseball. And I needed my parents for all 4 of those things. I didn't want to stuff it up.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, I mean, when you break it down like that, yeah, it is. It's pretty simple, but it just doesn't seem that kind of, what's that saying? Like the common sense isn't so common anymore. You know, like there's not that sort of mentality isn't there anymore. Like we were talking about this, I don't know, a while ago, about, you know, when, you know, we're a pretty close age. When I was coming up, it wasn't as much as it was when my old man was coming up, but when I was coming up, pardon me, there was, you know, we were doing basic servicing on cars and stuff, and might have only been spark plugs and leads, whatever, air filters and shit. But we were involved in that hands-on stuff.
Yeah.
And then that generation before was, like, my man was rebuilding motors and, you know, on the farm, like they were fixing tractors and whatever else at you know, 10, 12, 15, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was I can't remember who said it. It was a comedian said it, but it was like the car manuals back then used to come out with, you know, how to set your points or whatever. Yeah, and now it says don't drink the fucking coolant. You know, it's
Don't
like,
drink the battery acid.
yeah, you know, like fuck
It's
it.
so true though.
It is
So true.
And it's like, and it gets worse. It's like it gets. Someone said this as well, but it was something like, strong men create easy times create weak men create hard times create strong men, and it's just this fucking
Cycle.
ever going cycle.
Yep.
And I feel like we're creating a lot of weak ones at the moment, because it's so fucking cotton wool.
Yep.
They need to get out and follow drive or get a hobby or do something.
Yep.
But I love what you did. I think it's awesome. I need to step up my game. You know, get them a little bit more, I don't know, thick-skinned, I think. I love that. What,
Yeah.
I don't know. Could you do that? How old is he now? 15?
15, yeah.
How old was he when he was walking around selling the snap zip ties?
10, 11.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know. See, then there's that part of me that comes out that just scares the shit out of me. I mean, that's such a nice community, though, in the
correct.
go-kart, and so it's different, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to put them in the right spot where you can just say, righto, mate, off you go.
Yeah.
It's,
Let him build that confidence and freedom.
Yeah, correct.
And all that.
Yep. Yeah.
So as far as the wheels and stuff go, like, I mean, you've been in it 12 years now. You've seen everything. You know, obviously, I love the brand. You know, love the brand.
Live and breathe it.
Live and breathe it. There's a lot of shit out there as far as, and we're not going to drop names because we won't, you know, stir the pot too much. But if you, like, I mean, I only found out not that long ago that the old steel wheels, the old Sunnies and that didn't have the center bore locators, and that was all just, the weight was all on the stud. So my knowledge of that in-depth stuff is actually relatively, it's a lot smaller than I thought it was.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of misinformation around, centre bore locators and the actual the role of a centre bore, right? So the centre bore actually only locates the wheel.
Yeah.
There's no load bearing on the centre bore at all. So where all the load bearing is placed is the friction between the wheel and the mounting face.
Yeah.
So that's why your tensions are so important, right? So if you put your wheel on, the center bore ring is purely there to locate the wheel, so that it's center on the studs. That's it. Because you look at most center bore rings, they're plastic, right?
Yeah.
So if they're putting a ring in there between the wheel and the hub, it's plastic. So you're not going to be bearing any load on a plastic ring, right?
So not so much load, more so like just for when you're at higher speeds, it's spinning.
No, it's
like
purely
correctly.
there for putting the wheel on.
That's what I mean though.
Yeah.
It's not slightly offset because it's, you've used you're just working on the nuts to hold it in place, but but that center bore locator is to keep that dead center, so when you're spinning, you haven't got all the vibration and shit.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So a lot of wheels are hub centric.
Yeah.
Method wheels are lug centric, right? So, and that comes down to the build process of the wheel. So
what does that mean? So hub centric and
a hub centric wheel, they're like, okay, well, essentially, the lug holes may not be the same on every wheel.
right.
So they put the wheel on. You're using a conical nut, which there's a little bit of play in. So they'll use the center bore to locate the wheel.
Yeah.
And then the nuts go on, and then that holds it in place.
Yeah, that
right?
friction.
So the friction between the wheel and the mounting pad, that's what holds it in place, and that's what takes the load. With method wheels, they're lug centric. So basically saying that, righto, the lug holes are in the same spot on every wheel. We can put that on. We use the extended thread nuts, the ET nuts.
Yeah.
So that serves two purposes. That assists with locating the wheel on the stud, because it basically takes up the gap in the lug hole to the stud.
Yeah.
And also if you've got short studs, so because the alloy wheels, they can be a bit thicker.
Yeah.
In the mounting pad. So once you take a 200 series Land Cruiser, for example, they've got pretty short studs, so it just allows you to get that extra thread on the lug nut.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so it's a lot of people think that the hub rings are there to bear the load, which they're not. So it's not the stud. It's not the stud that takes the load. It's not it's not the hub ring that takes the load. It's purely that friction on the mounting faces.
Yeah, right.
So
I mean, I knew the way it had been explained to me was that hub ring was there to get it centered.
Yes.
Better, because without that it can be kind of off a little bit, and you add a millimeter there, but then you add that distance over a 35 or whatever tire.
Yep.
It's going to be fun on the highway, but.
Yep.
I thought it was based on the studs. I didn't realize that it was just the studs keeping that friction there, and that's what was holding it.
Yep.
That's really cool. Science is really cool.
Yeah.
Should have done more at school.
Hey, you live and learn, right?
You do.
It's but yeah, that's why your torque settings when you're torquing up a wheel are super important. You want them as tight as you can without stretching the stud. So
yeah.
That's you get people who just rattle them on. They just count ugger-duggers on the way in. So not quite not quite the right process.
I remember doing something like that many years ago.
I think we've all been guilty of it, mate.
The amount of stuff we worked on in the driveway at Mum's place when we were 15 and up. Yeah, there was no torque wrenches there.
No,
that was all, but there was no air tools either. There was
no, that's right.
There was just
You just wait till the elbow clicked.
Well, yeah, or you slipped off from using your foot. It didn't come off though.
Yeah. You probably use one of those cross braces too.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Cross brace. Yes. Oh, many of them. I've snapped one of them once.
Really?
Yeah, I think we landed on that a bit hard.
Yeah.
But then the wheels never came off.
No.
I would not have wanted to try and take them off,
You
but
may
they
have
never
stretched
came
the
off.
studs though.
Yeah, see, now I'm freaking out. Oh, but it's okay. So as far as people going out looking at, because all your socials have got a lot of stuff too. I know I had a look on the website again. You guys sponsor and you're involved in like a buttload of different stuff. So what's where are we? No, second one in.
There we go.
Yeah, so that's that. Like,
Yeah, look.
I mean, tell us a bit. I mean, like Jake Masters, like he's nuts, but
Harry Bank.
yeah, like that's good God. So you guys, you have this like integration into so much different stuff. Give us a bit of history on that, because that's the fact that we probably should go back, rewind all that. Probably should go back because we were talking earlier about where you came up and you guys were looking for sponsorship.
Yep.
Take us through that, because that's really cool.
We've been in motor racing since 1977. That's when my dad started. So that's the year before I was born. And look, I guess the analogy for most motor racing families is you spend every cent you got plus a bit. You know, and every cent you get or every dollar you get from a sponsor, it's like gold.
Yeah.
It's, it was we've been sponsored by, Cooper Tires. We've been sponsored by Rockstar Energy Drink. We've been sponsored by, this is in the early days. I wouldn't say early, but a few years ago.
Yeah.
And every dollar we got, we'd be like, yeah, what do you want? We'll do whatever you want for this money. And we did it. It was hard work, but it's what we had to do just to go racing. And, I guess to get from where we were there and to actually build a business and be in a position where we can actually start to give back and support these guys that were like we were back then. It almost brings a tear to my eye. Like it's pretty cool. And to see what these guys are doing for us. I know what we had to do, and I know exactly what they're going through. Yeah. Like you look at Brody Kostecki, for example. It was we got I guess we kind of knew him through Paul Morris down at Norwell Motorplex, and because Link's he's associated with those guys, and they took him on at a pretty early age.
Yeah.
And we saw Brody coming through, and like, man, that guy, his work ethic is like nothing I've ever seen. Like he couch surfed just to go racing. Like he prepped his own cars, he built cars, he just did what had to be done to go racing.
Yeah, that's someone that's got a true passion for it too, though.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And it got to a point where he was, what he raced first? It might have even been Hyundai XLs.
Oh, the old Excel class. Yeah.
And we're, they're like, oh, we want to race this race. Can you throw a few bucks in? Yeah, man, no worries. And then went from there to Super 3, and like to jump on board with someone that they've come out of nowhere, they've busted their ass to get where they are, and then we're still sponsoring him now, and to win a championship last year in the V8 supercar. It's just cool to think, what, we got in at grassroots.
Yes,
absolutely. We didn't jump on board when when you were doing well. I was always doing well, but when you were a big name and the whole world wanted to know who you were. Yeah,
like part of the reason that he got to be able to do it in the first place.
Yeah,
which I think that's really, that we were saying earlier. I think that's really cool that you've got your story of being that person, like going, like, fuck, man, we need this coin to race.
To survive.
Yeah, to survive.
Yep.
Even, that takes it to a whole nother level. But like all these years later, you've got people coming to you for that same thing, and you're sitting there like, fuck, that was me.
Yep.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that you haven't just kind of like gone through the process, built it, and now you sitting on the fucking, sitting on the castle on the throne.
Yep.
You know, but you're back there involved basically where you guys were.
Yep.
I just think that's really cool.
Yeah.
You know?
And people don't put enough emphasis on grassroots, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have grassroots, you don't have the top tier. And it's a pure fact. So if you're not supporting those people from down here, like, for example, we sponsor a baseball club as well. So it was a baseball club that I played at since I was 7 years old. I played all the way through, and I saw the club go from strength, and then their focus changed from juniors to seniors, and then the club just fell in a hole.
Because they weren't worrying about the next lot coming through. Yeah.
And when it came time for my kids to play baseball, the club was in dire straits, and we sort of jumped in and well, what do we need to do to build this thing up again?
Yeah.
And it was it was hard work, like we were part of the rebuilding process as well. And my kids, they were playing baseball there at the time, and we were trying to get as many players as we could, and do what we could to build it up. And it was probably 3-4 years ago, and they wanted to get back into A grade, which was the top tier. And they came to me and said, would you be able to sponsor the club? And I said, I'll sponsor the club under one condition. The money I put in goes to juniors.
Yeah, nice.
And they're like, right, no worries. And the club's in the best position it's been for a long time. So, yeah, it's just, you can't forget about the grassroots. That's the long and the short of it, because if you don't have them, you've got nothing.
Well, yeah, no, and that's what I mean. It's like, and I get what you're saying. You're not just jumping on the accelerating successful train. You're helping them, start, or maybe not, whether it be start or gain momentum.
Yeah.
And then you've got go your next one over, Shawnee. Your next link. Sorry.
Yep.
Right, up top. Yep, over to the right. Yeah, there you go. So this is a whole nother kettle of fish.
Yep.
So,
you got shit going on everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, fucking, you're a busy family. You're a busy company.
Yeah.
So give us a bit of background on this.
I guess this is Team Taylor. This is our family team.
Yep.
It's anywhere from motor racing to Method Race Wheels business here in Australia, to Uni Industries, to Barhamshaw's campground. It's all going on.
Yeah.
So essentially, as I said, like, Dad started racing back in 1977 in the off-road stuff. Pretty much as long as I can remember, mate, we've been racing the Australian Championship, and we came close to like, we've won class championships before, and like Australian championships, but never outright. And we came close back in, I think it would have been 99 or two. Yeah, it would have been 99, I reckon. 98, 99. And we're at the last race of the Australian Championship. It was down in Mount Gambier. And if we had have finished where we were in that race, so we went out for the last lap. And if we had have finished where we started, we would have won the championship. So we got...
I like where this is going.
Oh, man. So we got 10 Ks from the finish. There's a straight... So there's in Mount Gambier, pine forests everywhere, right?
Yeah, and to set the scene, how long is the actual lap?
About 90 kilometres.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a 500k race, roughly.
Yeah. So you've done most of it. You're coming up to the end.
10 Ks from home. Yep. So we were heading down this straight, 220 Ks an hour. There's like 3 whoops, about a metre high, halfway down this straight. We've been hitting it flat out all weekend. And we just hit it last lap, and the front left has just dug into this melon hole, or this whoop.
Yeah.
And it's spat us straight into the pine forest at 220 Ks an hour.
Oh.
Like, it was the biggest crash I've ever been in. Like,
yeah.
There was a pine tree that was like 60 foot tall, this round. We snapped the top half of it off, and it landed on the roof of the car. So, needless to say, we didn't finish.
Yeah.
Right? So, I think we still ended up second or third in the championship there. So this was, what was that, 98? So our first Australian championship was 2022. we won it. So with my brother Ryan at the wheel. So my dad, he died in 2020, tragic accident.
It's no good. Sorry
So-
for your loss. I lost my old man last year, so
Pretty hard work.
it is. It's
Yep.
not. It's not nice.
Yep. But all you can do is draw motivation from it, mate. And that's what we did. We threw everything into the bucket
Yeah.
to try and get that championship. And 2022, we did it.
What's the age gap between you guys?
What's Ryan? 2 years.
Okay.
He's 2 years younger.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's a good driver. He's fast.
What's the kind of brother competitive, nature? Do you guys go out and have a bit of a play and stir each other up a bit, or
Not anymore.
no?
No, it's mate, the amount of money it costs to race those things.
Yeah.
You don't want to go wasting it.
No, well, there's that. I saw Matty took me through the back of the warehouse. I saw some of the
Polaris's.
good God, you got some toys down there.
Yeah, it's probably a few too many. But
It's like the what was that? Days of Thunder.
Oh, yeah.
So don't race them. Go and get your bloody buggies and take them up the beach.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. But,
it's super cool.
no, we're racing businesses now. So
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
the-
There you go. I like that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So we got you guys on for like some of the builds that we're doing, which is awesome. That first one's the little long wheelbase. I think it's an 87 Sierra, although because it's the American base, they're calling them a Samurai.
Yep.
Yeah, which was that was a little bit confusing, but the set of wheels that Matty sent through for that look really cool. So I can't wait to. I've told her we've got a little.
Have
bit
you
of
seen a
surprise.
set of wheels that don't look really cool though?
Well, not of yours.
Nah.
I will say that. I mean, back in the early days. So actually, I was going to ask this. So for people that don't kind of understand this, and there's a bit of this is going to be for my education as well. So you've got wheels that are cast alloy. So that's basically pouring liquid alloy into a mold.
Yep.
And then you've got wheels that are like billet machined.
Yep.
This is, I mean, I'm probably getting a little bit off topic here with the science of it, but so at some point the billet was liquid alloy at some point to create the billet, wasn't it? So what is the difference between pouring a cast wheel or pouring a billet to CNC it down to a wheel?
Well, I guess a billet wheel is just a block. You're right, but when you get a block of aluminium, it's pure aluminium. It's just poured at a certain temperature, and it's formed.
Yeah.
Right? With a cast wheel, I guess it's a second process.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I'm not an engineer on this stuff either. I'm not a metallurgist. No,
It's always bugged me because I'm like, well, how do they get the billet? Like, surely that was liquefied
cast
at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've never understood the.
But I guess the difference is when you're pouring a billet block, it's easy to pour a square, right?
Yeah. Okay.
When you're pouring into a mold, you got to make sure that everything gets into every little nook and cranny.
Yeah.
And to make sure that it's not porous and it's pressurized to the right pressure to make sure that it gets into the right spots and it's spun at the right time and
all the air bubbles and all the other bits and pieces and stuff.
Yeah. And that's where it comes down to the heat treating to make sure that it's where it should be. It comes down to the testing procedures, because obviously casting's not an exact science. But you need to make sure that the wheel company that you're using is actually going through the right testing procedures to make sure that everything is like we've got our own engineering department in the US that design and test all the wheels. When a wheel's built, it's tested at the factory, it's tested in the USA, and there's a third party company that tests them also. So we're not trusting the factory because they're going to say, oh yeah, everything's right.
Been there, done that. Yeah.
And then we've got our own testing in house.
Yeah.
Where we're going to be biased as well, but we're going to make sure we're right. but we want someone else to prove that we're right. So it goes through, factory, in-house, and third party to make sure that everything is as it should be. And, tested on the 37-inch tyre. It goes through twice as many cycles as what it needs to for industry standard. It's serious business. It's,
Yeah. And
you got people's lives in your hands.
Absolutely.
It's and if, I got a family. We're a family business. There's no freaking way I would be putting my name to anything if I didn't believe in it.
No, I agree with I totally agree with all that. It's I find it I love the whole process of it. I probably should look that up. I've done a lot of looking into the casting for the wheels, but I've never looked at how a billet, what is it, a billet ingot? Is that what they call it? Something like that? I don't know. It's probably wrong. There'll be a keyboard warrior who'll fucking correct that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I've never actually looked into that. I should look into that because I find it really interesting, all of that process, and it's bugged me for ages. I'm like, well, if you can pour that, why can't you pour that? Why is this? But then I guess you got machine time of the CNC work and all the other stuff, and it's obviously a lot easier to make a program to have a CNC machine cut than create a mold. Yeah. That's repetitive use and all that.
Yeah.
It's still a cool process though.
Oh yeah.
As far as the off-road stuff, because like for many years it was always like, well, you go steel wheels because if you're off-road and you got low tire pressure and you knock the edge of it, you can bash it back out. But it's like correct that because it's almost like as silly as like a flat Earth conversation. Like when you're going off-road, you got low tire pressures. You hit something gnarly. You've busted the edge of your old Sunraysia. Bust out the hammer and knock her out.
Yep.
Alley wheels. They take a better hit. Can you hit them back out? Is like set it straight.
Look, I've done a lot of off-roading before, right? And if I'm running low tire pressures, I'm not driving that hard that it's gonna dent the wheel for a start.
Yeah.
You're gonna end up with bigger problems before you dent your wheel. The alley wheels, 100%. They've got so much more meat around that lip. Like that's where the strength in the wheel comes from.
Yeah.
Is your lip strength, right? So it's a steel wheel. Yep. They're the same thickness the whole way through. So yeah, they're gonna bend. It's a lot easier to bend a steel wheel than it is an alley wheel. 100% it is. So we've got, I don't know, the amount of wheels that we've sold. I've never, we put a lifetime structure warranty on these wheels. So
serious, I didn't know that. Yeah. That's cool.
Yep. So if you bend one, send it back.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yep.
Wow.
So it's got to be, if we know that you've been jumping it and being a dick in it, which we can tell.
Well, every dickhead these days has got an Instagram account fucking showing them jumping it and being a dickhead.
Exactly right. Exactly. So the wheels have got a lifetime structure warranty on them to be used within reason. But we've never had a wheel come back that was bent. So
yeah, well, my argument's always been like that steel you can hit back, but technically the type of hit that'll bend the rim of a steel wheel, it's probably not going to bend the alley wheels. Probably might take a chunk out of it.
Yeah.
Might dent it.
Yep.
But you're not going to bend it.
No.
Not as easily as so yes, you can't hit it back, but it's probably not going to bend as easy anyway.
No, that's right.
Fuck, all right. From the horse's mouth. There we go. That solves that.
And you look at how many steel wheels you've seen that have had the centers torn out of them.
The centers torn out.
Oh yeah, happens all the time.
You mean like the ring, like around the studs?
Yeah.
I've never seen that actually. No, I've never even seen that.
Right. No, you see it every second day. Like because obviously it fatigues over time, and because it's only thin, they start running bigger and bigger tires on them. It's becoming more and more frequent. So
I've definitely seen them where, a perfect example again, they're not really centered.
Yep.
And that there's that vibration because pardon me, especially if they're running I don't know, some cheap big mud, they're not going to balance up real well anyway.
Yeah.
And then if they're not quite centered, that is going to cause issues. And I've seen them where they've just slowly started to... I was out at Repliglass last week, so he was having a car delivered. A guy sold him an old 80 series. Grab another beer here, sorry.
Okay.
Fucking shit host here.
Thought you weren't going to ask.
Oh, fuck, it's rough. I'm like absorbing all this. I'm like, yeah, fuck, beer. Yeah, shit, beer. Me too, actually. Yeah, I was out at Repliglass. And they'd bought an 80 series, and the guy was delivering it. So they'd seen it on the weekend. The guy's driving it down. Everybody's happy, and it wasn't a great price, but it wasn't cheap. Like, it was a decent rig, and they were only getting it to take some molds to do some of their, you know, whatever they do to recreate the stuff, recreate the flares. And on the way down, the dude's rear left wheel's fallen off, like on the fucking highway. He was like 4 k's away, and it was a steel wheel. And he's like, oh, I don't know what happened, and you know, it's just come off, hit the ground. You know, the bottom of the disc's all shaved and all that.
Studs
And no, the studs were all there, but they're all fucked.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, dude, like a nut doesn't just go bzzz and off. It's like it takes a while, you know, and
You would have felt the vibration at some point.
you would think so. But all 5 of them. So it's been chattering away for however long, but that's, you know, the shit tires that don't balance up well, and not being located well in the center. And I mean, you just never hear about that with an alloy.
No.
Well, I have never. I mean,
Look, a tight nut never comes undone, right?
I'm sure there's a pun there, but I'll leave it alone. Right? Tight nut.
They can bring you undone,
Well, yes,
but they don't come undone.
That's probably where I was going with it. There you go. So no, that's true. Well, I've never had that. So
Yeah, and it's such a fine line, because if they're not tight enough, they'll vibrate off at some point. It's always the left. If they're too tight,
why is that? Is that just the camber of the road? Just
it's the way the wheel runs, and it undoes the nut as it spins.
Oh, of course it is. Fucking idiot.
So the right one does it up as it goes.
Right.
Left one undoes it as it goes.
There you go.
Yeah. So I mean, if you had left-hand thread on the left-hand side, they probably wouldn't come off.
There's an idea. That's that. You know what? That there is a post-it.
Why haven't they done that?
That there is a post-it note and fucking umbrella in your cocktail idea. There it is.
You imagine the amount of people that can't get their head around how to undo a nut anyway.
Well,
to change a tyre.
That's
They're
true.
like, oh, hang on. Which side was left-hand? Which... That was...
Yeah, well, there's that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's right.
Yeah. Lefty-loosey, righty-tighty.
There you go. Yeah, so, sorry, keep going. I took that off
Yeah,
track,
so, right, a loose nut or not torqued up enough, there's a chance that it'll obviously vibrate off. Too tight, stretch the stud, opens the threads up, it's going to come loose anyway. So that's where your torque settings, again, super important.
Totally agree. And I'll add to that the center, because it's like you can have that super tight, but if you've got like a 35, and like, you know, I talked to Robbie a bit with some of the stuff that he does, the cheap shit that is being brought into the country at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's like, you see my Facebook and all that, it's like, you know, might be, you know, steel wheels, set of 5 and 35s with muds, like the whole thing's $1,200.
Yeah.
Like, that is going to be like a paper mache piece of shit tire.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, you see, and he's like, mate, I get people bringing me this shit, and because he's a perfectionist, 9 times out of 10 he won't do it. But when they're trying to spin them up, and it's like, you're gonna end up with like a half a kilo of fucking weight on one side of the rim, because the tires are so shit.
Yeah.
Let alone like the shitty little bloody old steelies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get
Good wheels aren't cheap, and cheap wheels aren't good.
This is true. This is very true. What else we got up there, Shawnee? You got we got a few of the different links. So for people that want to get up to date with everything that you guys are doing, you've got you got Method Race Wheels. What's that? Is that just .com? Well, you guys are
methodracewheels.com.au.
.au. Okay, so that's the AU. But you've got the Facebook, Instagram. Got all the YouTube stuff.
Yeah, YouTube's something we're slowly building on, so it's
Yeah.
you know, you can't do everything at once, and
Oh fuck! I know that.
Yeah.
And you guys are like a billion times bigger than what I'm trying to juggle, and even I'm having trouble.
yeah. But it's good fun. The harder you work, the luckier you get, and
Yeah.
it's
It's a fucking good looking wheel. Oh, that's the wheel that's on here.
that's what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's have you got anything coming up? Any like sort of little inside stuff you can tell us? That's just you and me. Just let me know. Anything for 24 that sounds cool?
Oh mate, we've always got cool stuff coming up.
Yeah.
We're sponsoring Fink Desert Race again.
Cool.
So that's cool. We've got, we got Link racing his Toyota 86s this year, so he'll be doing the National Series and the Scholarship Series, so he'll be one to look out for there. And then V8 Supercar stuff, well, there's a bit of shit going on there, but
What's going on with all the V8 stuff now?
mate, I've purposely stayed out of tune with it because
Right.
it's I just want to, we back Brody 100%.
Yep.
No matter what he does, we helped him out from when he was, racing XLs, and we're there for the long haul. And it's
I guess there's a certain amount of like, because if you, I know for me, like I love the V8s. I'm still getting my head around the way it is now, but Bathurst is Bathurst, and so I can kind of cross my eyes a little bit and not see what cars driving what and just enjoy the track.
Yep.
But there must be like that transition from just enjoying the race to
being invested in it.
yeah, and
Yep.
it's like it kind of there's almost a fight between the business head direction and the enjoyment being a spectator, and like that would fuck with me.
Oh, look, it's like anything. If you've got a dog in the fight, you enjoy it. You look at it from a total different perspective, and it's it's pretty cool to it's like your kid playing sport. You're invested in it. You go to that game, whatever it is, and your kid's playing. You're invested in it.
I definitely I get that. I think there's I look at it and they're like, God, if you had a car, like if I had one car, one driver, whatever. I mean, like this is probably never going to have a V8 supercar sort of sponsorship setup, but I love watching it, and because I'm not. It's for me, it's so different now because it was like Peter Brock, Dick Johnson, like that era. I mean, Craig Lowndes when he came in, like it was still them boys, and it was like it's like football now for me. It's like my guys I grew up with are gone.
Yep.
I mean, Lowndes is still kicking around, but it's like that era is gone. So now I just watch it without. I don't have any one person that I'm throwing empty beer cans at the TV when something goes wrong. I'm just watching it for the race.
Yeah.
And like converting that to that's my guy, and you're watching every corner, every rub and bump, and
You're racing it with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would have a fucking stroke.
Oh man, it's pretty cool though. Like I guess with Link, my son racing as well. It's next level again.
Yeah.
He was racing down at Sydney Motorsport Park in the 86s last year, and he had an ABS failure coming into turn 2 in Sydney. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but turn 1's fast, and you come into turn 2 and you're deep in brakes, and he's had an ABS failure, and he just runs straight up the back of the car in front of him. And with those 86s, they've got oil cooler, oil filter up here with dash fittings, and as soon as you have a front on hit, those dash fittings come loose and it just pumps oil everywhere. So he's had a hit. We can't see what's going on. All we see is smoke coming up. So we got radio with him, and we're like, "You right, mate?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Mate, there's a fair bit of smoke. You better get out." And he goes, "Yeah." And then obviously when he gets out, he unplugs and you don't have communication with him. So all you're seeing is just smoke coming up. And I was like, I hope he got out. You know,
Fucking hell.
you just invested next level. And
yeah,
like my wife, she calls it her Tourette's. Like when he's racing, she's just like fuck.
yeah.
She's like, anyone that stands beside her, she's like, oh, you probably don't want to stand next to me, eh?
Oh, that's gold. I love it.
Yeah.
So he was 86s last year. So is he that class this year, or
he turned 15 in July?
Yeah.
So he got 2 races in. So because you got to be 15 to race them.
Yeah.
So he turned 15. So he got 2 races in last year, and then this year it'll be a full season, and hopefully we can get some results.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No pressure.
Mate, he lives it and breathes it. It's his commitment to it is pretty phenomenal, to be honest. So
yeah, I think that's one thing I definitely missed, that the work ethic side, but I got that, but like the sport, because Shawnee and I both come up with like athletics and footy and all that sort of stuff, and it was I mean, very different, and you know, different era and all that sort of stuff. But I don't know. I wish I'd had more. I don't know. I don't know if I would have responded to more push. You know, but I would love to have gotten more involved in it, because Dad used to race the Clubmans and Rotax we were talking about earlier, and I'd done a few laps and had a bit of fun and stuff, like just out at Willowbank when it was still the full track.
Yep.
So that's going back, 16, 17, whatever it was. I'd love to have gotten a little bit further with that, but I think it's more for the camaraderie. You know, the guys all back then. I remember watching Dad with all these guys, just talking shit, and you know, you'd be camping out for a weekend away from racing, and like that for me was the buzz. You know, I didn't give a shit whether he won or not. It was just that trip,
the camaraderie, and that.
Yeah. And I think I get that a little bit now. You know, with the workshop and with like camping and stuff like that. But there's nothing that quite replaces that motorsport sort of.
And you know what? That's what a lot of people forget. You know, like that's what motorsport's about. It doesn't matter what else you do, as long as you're out there and you got a smile on your face. That's what it's there for.
Yeah.
You know, it's and a lot of you find it with go-karts. There's a lot of people that come through and they push their kids pretty hard, and you know, the kids feel the pressure, and nothing kills fun like expectation. And you've got to keep that expectation off your kid. Just let them go there and have fun, enjoy what they're doing, and whatever happens. You know, there's a lot of people that rock up going, oh yeah, my kid's the greatest. They're going to be the greatest. They will fall off, you know, because they're not there for the right reason. You've got to be there for the right reason to start with, and then whatever happens after that, happens after that.
And your boys just kind of just saw it and was like, fuck, I'm all about this, and just got into it. Like,
mate, we bought him his first go-kart in 2016. Just a shitbox thing. It was, you know, he went out, he was out at Ipswich, he was 10-minute session, he was getting 3 laps in.
Yeah,
It was, and then fast forward a year, you know, he broke track record by half a second at state titles, and you know, it just, as long as, like, I love it, I live it and breathe it, but I keep telling him, I said, mate, you've got to want this just a little bit more than I do, because the second I want it more than you do, mate, we got a problem. So it's
fuck, that's a quick buddy learning curve. There's a lot of like natural sort of talent in that to be getting into it that quick. You reckon?
Look,
it's. I mean, like that's.
We used to go out there. So we live just down the road here. At Joiner. So we used to go out there. I'd pick him up from school at 2:00 in the afternoon. We'd drive out to Ipswich on a Wednesday afternoon, and he would practice all night. We'd jump in the car. The track closed at 9:00. We'd load up. We'd drive back. And I said to him, mate, the minute you wake up on a Thursday and don't have a smile on your face and want to go to school, this all stops.
Wow.
And we did that for about 2 years. We'd go out every Wednesday. There's a guy by the name of Derek Jones. He's got a kart shop down at Currumbin, and he helped us from the start. Like, he didn't know who the hell we were. He's just like, oh yeah, you know, we were nobodies at the kart track, and he's like, oh yeah, you want to do this, do that, and you know, we stayed loyal to him the whole way through.
Yeah.
And you know, his philosophies and his, you know, how he went about things, I just like, you're our guy.
Yeah.
You know, it was good, and Link related to him well, and he went out there every Wednesday night. That was his thing. So I said, all right, we're going out there, and yeah. So for 2 years, mate, we'd sit in traffic some days for 3 hours just to get out to the track. You know.
Yeah.
And
I remember doing the drive. I remember sitting in the back of Dad's car.
Yep.
When those boys would go out, I mean, God, when did we? He would have stopped racing in the Rotax series. 2006-ish, maybe 5.
Yeah, right.
Somewhere between 4, 5, 6, around there.
Yeah.
But he was in that for quite a while. I mean, I think the first time I went out there with him, I was probably 13, 14.
Yeah.
And I remember all the boys just like, they would just like, they would race, and they were competitive and all that sort of shit. Like, you know, there's that.
They'd take each other to steward's office, but come back and have a beer later.
That's right. You know, there was that competitive nature and argy-bargy while you're out having a bit of fun, but then it was done.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
know, and I loved all that. I remember sitting in the back of the car, early teenage years, going out there, and Dad and his mate Yuri, they'd usually go out do the trips together. They were like sort of teams, like race buddies, whatever. I don't know, what it is. But I remember sitting in the back of the car, and there'd be like Kevin Bloody Wilson on the old fucking tape player, and it was just talking shit and banter, and that was a part of that. My introduction to that and helping Dad build trailers to take the carts and all the other shit that he would do. Yeah. But that was my bit of intro to it, and I think again, you get it in other areas, but I think the adrenaline, you know, junkie in me is like, yeah, it would have been cool to be doing in, you know, some sort of racing as well. He keeps telling me to fucking...
You can still do it,
he wants, I said, I'll pit crew for you. Yeah. I'll build the trailer, I'll pit crew, I'll do all that, you can race.
Do you want to build me a trailer?
We can talk about that. Oh, yeah, I got to pay for it. There it is. Yeah, that's the thing. I got to build it and pay for it and all that. Yeah. But he's all right, because he's bloody 70 kilos soaking wet.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know, I was 89 in fucking year 10, so I was never going to do anything like that. No, I mean, maybe the big stuff's fine, but coming up, I was always pretty heavy for it. But it's just this. I don't. Yeah, shut up. It's making me fucking want to do it again. You couldn't get away for the weekends it would require.
Oh, for that I would.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, for that he would. Fuck.
So it's all about priorities.
Yeah. Fuck. This is going to cost me money.
But no, it's been cool. It's been a cool ride. You know, some of my good mates and some of Link's best mates, you know, they've come from karting, and it seems to be
a pretty, like, you hear the stories these days when the V8 boys are talking about where they've come from. It's always karting. That's a very consistent sort of starting point.
Well, that's where you can start youngest. That's why I got Link into karting, because we were always off road, but you couldn't do off road until couldn't drive an off road car till you're 14. Like,
no, of course not. Right.
Yeah. So we got Link into karting when he was 7, and then it kind of, like, the intention was always to put him into off road. Yeah. But then little prick started getting pretty good, and we're like, oh shit. So we I mean, he's raced off road. He's raced. So we actually ended up talking AASA into starting a kids class in off road. So that allowed him to race a non-turbo 1000cc Polaris, or a class 3 car or a class 7 car from the age of 10. But they had to have an adult in the navigator's seat, and they had their own little
that makes more. I'm just picturing fucking Blake 2 years ago going, no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, no. But it is so good. You know, like the kids are as shit scared as what you are. Well, Link wasn't. He was just he just took
Well,
off. But,
yeah.
You know, it was. I wasn't scared. You know, it was always in. Like I've navigated a fair bit in those cars, and you always. My saying was like, if your driver doesn't listen to you, I'm out. You know, so
Yeah.
you can. And I told Link that. I'm like, mate, if you don't listen to me, we're not racing this thing. And it was good. You know, it was a good time, and he thrived in it and enjoyed it. But at the end of the day, you know, he wants to make a living out of racing cars.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to go where the money is. So
Yeah, it's funny that where the like, 'cause in the States it's fucking massive.
there's not many paid drivers in the US, mate.
Really?
No.
It seems like anything that we do here, there's somebody over there doing it and making a shit ton more money.
Oh yeah, because there's shit ton more people.
Well, yeah, I guess it's that.
That's yeah.
But I mean, you even take that back to, like, you know, our football, and yes, I said football, rugby league. I'm going to say football.
Yep.
You know, like all the bullshit with salary capping, and then the guys over there that are earning, I don't know, what the fuck does an NFL guy earn? $100 million a year? I don't know.
They're making that a game.
Well, okay, there you go. Yeah, that's right. They're making what we're making in a season and a game, and our guys aren't wearing fucking pads and helmets.
Yeah.
But I don't know. God,
Yeah.
that's going to take us down a fucking rabbit hole, because I got some fucking opinions on that shit, and I don't want to cause too much keyboard worrying.
No, we love that shit.
I love having a laugh at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay.
Yeah. That's
Oh, you've got so as far as actually, I'll get this out there. So you guys, is there a specific dealership like a I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but like, does somebody go to like a Bob Jane, like wherever they are in Australia? Is there a branch that you guys kind of deal with that will stock your stuff, or?
So we've got a dealer network on our website. So you just jump on the dealer locator and it'll bring up pretty much it'll bring up our whole dealer network. So we the Tyre Power Group is.
Fuck, said the wrong name. Shit. I was like pausing, and I'm sure it's going to be wrong.
Yeah, of course it was.
Yeah.
Of course it was. But no, we've got
hit that.
anyone that's on our dealer locator, they know what they're talking about. So
Right.
it's you know, they're good operators. We don't just open up to anybody. Anybody can buy our product. And I'm not saying that anyone that's not on our dealer locator isn't a good operator. I'm not saying that. They just haven't contacted us yet. But anyone that is on there, you know, they're good operaters. So
isn't it shit that all the PC stuff these days, you've got to clarify it like that? Like what? Like
Nah.
who's going to get fucking hurt by? Oh well, they didn't say me. I'm a good operator.
Stock the wheels.
Yeah, that's right. Make the call.
Yeah,
it's
exactly
pretty
right.
fucking simple. You're a good operator, then you need
That's right.
the best wheels, and this is how to find them.
Yep.
I
So I
fucking-
mean, we haven't approached the corporates for a reason, but you know, Tyre Power guys fit our model pretty well, and it's they're doing a good job.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's obviously a pretty good spread across. Is that are they all? Is that like across Australia, or are we like sort of more like sort of Queensland, New South Wales sort of stuff?
No,
or?
it's nationwide.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
So,
There you go. That's a better map. Well, there's a lonely little fucker up there at the top of WA. That's not WA. Where'd you go to school?
That'll be Karratha there. Is that? I don't know where that is.
I don't know where that is. either.
That'll be good though.
Hey, there you go. That's right. What's the difference between the blues and the orange stars?
So the orange stars, they're stockers. So
Right.
we've got different levels. So we've got people that stock a good amount of our product, and they need to maintain a certain stock level.
Yep.
And then we've got preferred dealers, and then we've got dealers.
Right.
So, yep.
Right. Well, that's cool. Well, I mean, like, I guess realistically, with that sort of map there, unless you're smack bang in the middle of Australia in the desert, you're gonna have someone pretty close.
Yeah. Yep. And they could, you know, even if someone from from Alice Springs rings us, we'll have stuff to them within 3 or 4 days generally.
Yeah.
So it's not that bad. So yeah, it's
I think I'm looking forward to doing some more stuff because you guys have got an awesome network of people that you sponsor, an awesome network of different just everything. I mean, what did you say the baseball team you're sponsoring?
Yeah,
like that's like fucking wheels, and you're sponsoring baseball. I just think that's awesome.
Yeah.
You there you go. That looks like a bit of fun. I remember the first time I did that V8 supercar experience where you drive the, I don't know, it's like an SS with a big exhaust.
Down at Norwell or
no, up at Lakeside. No, not
yeah.
Lakeside. No, Lakeside doesn't do them.
QR.
Queensland Raceway. I remember doing, and I was still smoking at the time, so that didn't help. But they put me in the harness, and like they fucking lean on you to pull it down, and I'm like, dude, I can't breathe. Like he's like, just
Not
basically
quite tight enough
don't.
yet.
Yeah, he's like, don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm like, it's fucking tight, man. He's just breathe. You'll be all right. And as we pulled out, and this is only, I think they're basically just an SS or an XR8, with some bits taken off them.
Tires, brakes, exhaust.
And fuck, did I have some fun. But as soon as we started, it was putting me in the chair enough that all that pressure was off my chest.
Forgot about it.
Yeah, but then going into the corners, it was like you wanted it. It was like, okay, cool, we're braking. It was like, I love it. I need to go back. Have you done that yet? Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's like nothing in comparison to the
Go
real
see the
stuff,
guys at Norwell.
Okay.
Yeah.
They do that same kind of deal.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, we need to do that. We need to do a weekend trip and do that because it's fun.
That's Paul Morris's one down there.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. It's like legal. It's like legal drugs. The only thing that I didn't do last time, I was like, if I ever go back, I'm going to book like 7 sessions in a row.
Yep.
Because it's like you get to, I don't know what I did the first time out was like 4 laps or something, 5 laps maybe. I don't know.
Tell you what we'll do. We're going to do a driver. Our athletes, we're going to do a pre-season driver training.
Yeah. Okay.
Down there with them. I'll let you know when it's on.
Fuck yes.
Come down.
Sign us up. God, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was the problem was we got to the end and it's like the last lap is when you're getting comfortable and you're ready to sort of get into it a bit more and have a bit more fun. It's like it's over.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's like premature ejaculation.
Oh, that escalated quickly.
Sorry, mate.
Shit. No, fuck. Hey, that's what. No, there's no dump here. Fuck it. That's just what it is. It is what it is. Talking shit, having beers, mate.
Yeah.
Clay, I really appreciate you coming down, and I know you're a busy man, so I know like everybody that we get down is like super fucking busy. I'm running around like an idiot. He's always busy. Everybody's always busy, so I appreciate your time.
No, you just got to make time to do cool shit, eh?
Well, look, at the end of the day...
Cool shit with cool people.
There you go.
Rule number one.
Well, at the end of the day, it's like, if there's cold beer involved, I'm just about anyone. So it's an opportunity to learn a bit of stuff, and I get a lot out of these too. So I appreciate you sharing some of your stories and that, and we're going to have to get you back at some point. Obviously, we got a few builds coming up this year, which would be cool. But anytime you're floating around, man, give me a holler. There's always cold beer in the fridge.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, mate. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Later.